Non-click attributable things are absolutely necessary.
Are there any verticals that are not yet saturated with affiliates?
Yes, every single one. You can buy initial branded traffic that nowadays might cost you 100 grand to generate that same level of real interest by buying some of these domains that used to have real stuff. I think that that's very 2018 and it's not 2025 multi-channel organic marketing. And if you want to destroy a relationship and prevent being offered really good offers in the future, then do exactly that.
Are there other ways of monetization?
Oh, definitely other ways.
Yeah, YouTube still drives way more revenue. There is some really interesting stuff with the CTAs in videos that can work really well as well that some people are doing. Like LLMs are fundamentally risk averse themselves, and it's very difficult to get recommended if you are seen as a high risk option. The focus on being the entity and being there by the time that takes over, to me, is the most important thing. Websites are not that relevant anymore, and they will continue to be less and less relevant. Brand is the only thing that will make sure that you're still going to be in 10 years.
A lot of people quit and the rest got better. Is it harder than before? Yeah, but it was just very easy.
Don't conflate business with like enjoyment or hobbies. It's just straight business.
As an affiliate marketer, you're in the content business.
The most money I ever made was like chancing upon something that I didn't think would be profitable, ended up being crazy, converting 10 times better than anything else.
Wondering which domains are winning right now? Now you don't have to wonder, nor do the work to find out. We research, test, and identify the trends for you before they peak. New release every week, limited inventory. Subscribe to Odyssey Trends now. Hi everyone, we're back with Odyssey Podcast. My name is Aneta Semkov, and today I'm hosting News and James.
I do mostly SaaS affiliate marketing now. I was an SEO affiliate marketer, mostly in a variety of different niches. Now we build software and we run people's affiliate programs and scale them. Some of that's through SEO, some of it is through YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, email newsletters, and paid ads. Basically, all of that fun stuff, and also a bit of SEO as well.
Nice. Good to meet you, Jamie.
Finally, I can't believe it's been so long.
Wow.
You've been emailing me for so long. Like, I have to do it at this point. Like,
I never heard of you. It's nice to meet you. Nice. Yeah, I'm Niels, Dutch guy. I have a portfolio of Dutch affiliate websites, and that's been going very well on the e-commerce space. I also invest in other affiliates because last month we did like 220K in commissions, and I want to help other people do the same. You know, it gives me a lot of pleasure.
Out of the good of your heart.
Out of the good of my heart and a percentage of your company. So yeah, nothing comes for free, but that's a win-win. And I also partner with a YouTube affiliate marketing agency, looking at other affiliates to joint venture with them and do all the YouTube affiliate for them. But probably more on that later. It's going to be interesting.
Yes. So today's topic is everything about affiliate marketing. So why are some affiliates making like six figures while others struggle?
Yeah, I think shiny objects is definitely a major one. They have something that works, but somehow they also want to try out new channels, new formats, other tactics. Well, you really need to have something repeatable and then scale it until it stops. You know, we started with top 10 lists, for instance, on let's say mattresses or cat litter. And then we saw, this works. So we just had a website in every e-commerce niche. We made 3,300 of articles with the same outline, because with every product category, we knew it would print more money. It was predictable. So why stop and do something else? That's the best ROI that you can have for your content if you can just repeat it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are obsessed with like what they like they pick their own hobby or their own passion. And a lot of those offers just don't scale because the different industries work better. And it's like swimming against the tide to a certain extent. Like you can really try and make money in something where there's no money, be stuck and just not make money. Or you can be flexible, get really into a better performing offer and just scale stuff that is way easier to like scale, so that you're swimming with the tide rather than against it. And really just the most money I ever made was like chancing upon something that I didn't think would be profitable, ended up being crazy, like just converting 10 times better than anything else. But you don't find that if you only do your passions and anything else, rather than just seeking out offers and then just scaling out what can scale and then focusing super precisely once you find something that can really scale.
Yeah, nice. And I also want to add upon that, like as a video marketer, you're in a content business. So if you're not creating more content and better content every month, you really can't get to that 7 figures, every
Yeah.
year. And I feel a lot of people suddenly want to stop making content, but do only link building. Okay, but then you can just get 50% more revenue max, and then what? You still make from 15K. But to go from 10 to 100K, you also need like 10 times as much content, A
Yeah.
lot of people don't really see that. They're focusing on different things.
And it doesn't scale unless you're not, like, for example, if you pride yourself on your copywriting for an article and you know that if you do it well with the right structure, it will rank, you're cool. You can become a highly paid employee, but you'll never scale to like making enough where if you're the bottleneck, you're capped. Like you only have 24 hours a day and you're doing a comparatively low value thing and just creating stuff. And there's a difference between like talented individuals and operators can get past that bottleneck. You will not, even if you've got a crazy AI that can produce content at scale, once you get to the competitor level for big offers that you need, whole teams on this stuff, you'll never be competitive unless you can delegate and operate and scale bigger than that. And so there's a difference between being a talented technician and an operator who can grow a 10 plus people team and reach those kinds of revenue and profit levels that you just cannot do as an individual.
So the biggest mistakes people make are not creating content, trying to follow whatever they like instead of what makes sense, right? And what are the mistakes that you've made in your journey?
It's hard to say specifics, but I listen too quickly to other people. Like I'm in the Dutch market, for instance.
Yeah.
So the Dutch market, foreign market is different, So English people tell me, oh, do topical SEO, do topical SEO. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then I put everything on topical authority. And like, it doesn't work because in the Dutch market, there's not really such a thing as topical authority. I've never seen it hit off. So you really have to think like, okay, in what market is he? In what niche is he? How long is he already doing this? How competitive is it? What kind of offers? And then you can take, okay, maybe I take these learnings from that and try it out small, but not just take everything blindly because someone says so. That's definitely important. And you need to understand where that knowledge comes from and the basics and how that could apply to you. And every time I didn't think about that, it was wasted time.
I feel like it's an easy mistake for people who are starting to make, right? Like you want to go to conferences, to network, to listen to people who have more experience, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to have that right judgment to actually say, to judge whether they're right or not. Like, how do you learn that from experience?
Yeah, it's by what I said, really think of like, okay, where does this person come from? How big is his website? So there's also different rules. What is the niche he is in? So the competition is different. And what geo is he in? And if you know that, then like, oh, wait, he's in the same geo as me, same size as me. And he did that when his site still has 20,000 visitors. And my site also has 20,000 visitors right now. And that specific thing at that stage of his site helped him go further. Then it's like, okay, there's a lot of the same variables as in my situation. So look at that. Yeah.
So how about you, Jamie? What are the mistakes that you made early on?
A lot of the
Coming
stuff
to this podcast.
a lot of the stuff that I mentioned in the last answer with being the bottleneck and not delegating just because I knew that if I did it right, it'd be done right, prevented us scaling because again, it relied on me and like niche technical knowledge or anything else to implement. And I think I'm good on the technical side. Until recently, I wasn't good at operations and just turning everything into a repeatable process. And so it never scaled as much as it could have previously. And again, it's like business is business, and don't conflate business with like enjoyment or hobbies. It's just straight business. And so now I'm trying to just not be in there at all. Make sure that everything is at a level that even if I'm nowhere near the process, it's done at least to 90% as if I was doing it myself. And then just not getting in my own way so that it can just become its own machine that keeps going even when I'm not there. So if I used to come to these conferences and everything would fall apart as soon as I left because I'd be out networking, drinking for a week and it'd just fall apart. And it can't be reliant on me. That just makes me a highly paid individual, not a business owner that runs its own living, breathing entity that is sellable. And so, delegation and scaling stuff, even though I'm not that organized, I'm more of a creative than organization, like forcing myself to learn that has mostly overcome like my biggest weakness that led to a lot of the mistakes, which was just being the bottleneck and doing it all myself rather than just letting other people take the reins on it.
Yeah, it's quite easy now too to make processes. You record yourself doing a loom,
Yeah.
you get a transcript out of it, you put the transcript into ChatGPT, make a step-by-step process in it, and done. You have something that you can give, you know, you did the task once and now you can outsource it for the next months.
Yeah.
basically.
Loom
Yeah.
does it now automatically. There's a Loom AI SOP generator where your Loom will automatically get turned into an SOP.
Perfect.
And it'll also screenshot the timestamp for everything relevant as well.
Nice.
So I actually heard people say that these are tough times for affiliates with like competition, stipends, margins shrink. How to grow a site in conditions like that?
I find it funny because at one moment people say, oh, it's so tough, you know, but then they're all still making money from
Yeah.
affiliate marketing.
Yeah.
You
And they're
know
also
what
doing
I
the same
mean?
thing, expecting different results.
Yeah. Yeah, they expect things to stay the same for
Yeah.
10 years. It was just very easy and
Yeah.
now it's a bit harder.
Yeah.
So we're all
Yes.
like, oh, poor me, my big bank account, you know. I only made 120,000 euro last month instead of 140 as before, you know. So yeah, if people are still in affiliate marketing, there's still money to be made.
Mhm.
Is it harder than before? Yeah, but it was just very easy too,
yeah.
you know? So it's fine that there are some barriers to entry at least. And I do have to say, all the people that gave up, yeah, they were just lucky, man. They just posted stuff, it ranked. We're like,
Mhm.
wow, I actually can't believe I make money. And then it tanked. And they're like, okay, I'm not even going to try something new. You know, you
Yeah.
just have to adjust to the rules, to either an algorithm or to new channels. I don't even think that's an affiliate marketing game. It's a marketing game.
It's a marketing game
Because
and a business game.
and a
Just build a
business game.
fucking brand and actually just do marketing. Most people that can do content, they're not multi-channel marketers, and that's
No.
when they fell over because you actually have to build something now. You can't just hide behind text on a web page anymore. You actually have to build something tangible.
Yeah.
I really don't think. I think the opportunities. I mean, it's got harder to be a purely SEO focused content targeting site. But I used to be mad about that because I wanted to do my same thing over and over again. But
Mhm.
like, it's probably good that it's the current structures are the way they are because it rewards building an actual business and lasting brand that's probably still going to be around in 10 years time. And I don't think it's changed. I think people are just actually having to prove that they are not just content people, that they can actually be full stack marketers that can do multi-channel, can build like funnels and steps of processes to still make more money on the back end rather than just relying on faceless traffic to land on a page, never be retained, no retention rates, faceless, never coming back. Now you actually have to engage and keep your audience around. And I really don't think it's that much more difficult, but it's just a change. And a lot of people don't want to pivot when things are different to how they've been doing them for 10 years.
Yeah, and if you do all that, you make a lot more money too.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
conversion rates of your website go up, you're actually in touch with the brands you promote and you get better commission deals.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of people quit and the rest got better, basically.
Yes, it clears the crowd, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So how can you actually grow your brand as an affiliate?
I think you're better with this than I. We don't really do brand building. We do a lot of PPC, so we're still faceless. But with the right targeted campaigns, we still have a lot of green grass, so to say. So that's been going well.
Yeah, yeah. If you've ever met Nielsen at an event, that you'll know he's much more of a PPC than an organic guy.
Mhm.
And
With
yeah,
all the money I spent, you
Of
see
course,
that,
of
right?
course.
It's
It's
the
always-
aura.
always.
Like, damn.
and yeah, on the brand side, like it's the topic of what I'm talking about mostly. Brand is the only thing. How do I even say this? Brand is the only thing that will make sure that you're still going to be in 10 years because you don't exist if you're a faceless website. Websites are not that relevant anymore and they will continue to be less and less relevant. But brands that have like the almost like a parasocial relationship that like you would have with a creator from behind the screen, you can't beat that. And with that, you can command audience attention, traffic, sales, everything you want to do if you can capture that on an actual emotional level rather than just being a source of information, which the value expires once you leave that web page. What we spend a lot of time doing for clients, not as affiliate marketers, but managing the other side as affiliate, managing and scaling affiliate programs for product brand that they're trying to grow, is that when we cease to search a lot of stuff on Google, as humans, yes, we see declining things. We see AI overviews and stuff. But when in the next 2 years, when it switches to be a much more agent-focused search, where the average person might search Google 2 to 3 times a day at the moment. But when you've got teams of agents doing research all day for you completely autonomously, that may mean that you're searching 1,000 times a day. It's just not you searching. And so the only SEO is going to have the human SEOs optimizing for humans are going to have a rough couple years, and it's going to get increasingly bad. But the visibility and desire to filter indexed information for information itself or for product recommendations is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And if you are a product company rather than just an information providing company, which is why as an affiliate, you need to become less of just information and more of a source of like actual products, you can do very, very well. Because if you can get yourself positioned so that AI search things are returning you, then as a brand, and someone who wants to position themselves well in the future, you can get far, far, far more attention to your brand than you could before. And that's one of the main things that we like try and help clients with, is we tell them like, you can't just qualify the influence that you're driving from, for example, an influencer marketing campaign or just a straight affiliate offer. You have to think about the non-tangible, non-attributable levels of that. For example, where are you now being surfaced for your main high buyer intent keywords in your niche? Is that going up or is it going over down? Once you're there and you're the semantically related entity for your niche, for example, if you're HubSpot and they type in best CRM and you're there, it's very difficult to be removed because you have 20 years of data that links you directly to that topic. But if you're not there, as things switch over and it becomes a more, as the search interface looks more and more like a ChatGPT and less like a Google as that changes over time, the focus on being the entity and being there by the time that takes over, to me, is the most important thing. Because if you're not there and you're not really related, LLMs are fundamentally risk averse themselves. And it's very difficult to get recommended if you are seen as a high risk option, aka a smaller brand with less track record, less brand mentions, less multi-channel mentions over Reddit, TikTok, everywhere else that you would scrape for information if you were an LLM company. And it's difficult to get in there. My prediction will be anyway that it's difficult to get in there if you're not already there by the time that this becomes like the majority of like total nominal searches that are being searched. And the only way to do that is to have a really powerful multi-channel strategy that really builds you as a brand and makes you the reference point in your niche. And that if you do that, you can make exponentially more money than the normal Google search affiliate could ever do. But it's going to get more and more difficult if you just sell information, because information is the commodity, the product is the valuable thing. And everyone needs to work towards becoming a product company rather than an information company to be able to take advantage of that.
So can you share a couple of tips how to get into LLM results?
At the moment, Perplexity scrapes Google for the most part, and SearchGPT scrapes the first page of Bing. They're very, very, very basic algorithms.
Yeah.
How it will be in the future, most likely, will be similar to a knowledge panel, where if you have enough sources of important, high likelihood of being correct information, that triggers a certain level where you become notable enough to get a knowledge panel. I think it's the same sort of thing where if you have enough brand mentions, enough positive sentiment all over multiple channels, and in very high weighting of LLM scraping data, Reddit, LinkedIn, TikTok, and things like that, the more powerful you become and the larger, like the heavier your entity is and the more closely related to the brand you are. Same thing with branded search. That's how I predict that it will go over the next couple of years. But for now, it's still very basic, and you can mostly do it with either a parasite strategy or just ranking your own content or brand among the top results that are being scraped and summarized for things like Perplexity, SearchGPT, and other AI search engines.
Yeah, and on top of that, I don't need you need positive sentiment about your brand, but you need something consistent. Because if they see every time it's the same kind of value proposition you have or the same kind of reviews, then it's like, oh, this is the truth. Because ChatGPT and LLMs don't work with truth or not. They just see something repeated a lot of times.
Yes.
So they say it like, oh, this is the information you want and you're looking for, basically.
Yeah, and you can force consensus with enough consistent
Mentions
answers that say what you want them to say, which is expensive, but well worth it for the right kinds of things that you want to shape the consensus on. In the same sort of way, a couple of years ago on a different podcast, I predicted that the featured snippet would get split in half. And you'd have one answer that was like the pro view, or the left-wing view in politics, or like the confirmation view, and one opposing view from another source that had the other side, to try and give you overall a balanced answer to what you are searching for answers, just for questions that have answers that have multiple options depending on what decision you'd make. And that's kind of happened with AI overviews. You are more likely at the moment to get one of the sources if what you say has a different take on the answer to all of the others. Even if it's a product review, if you say something different, and it can be negative. Also, 3 to 4 star reviews for products in the schema outrank 5-star and close to 5-star reviews, because it's a more balanced argument. In the same way, if you have something different to say, you might, for example, let's use the CRM example. You might say that HubSpot and Salesforce are really good for these certain things, but for my specific use, for my sales team doing sales files into this agency stuff, this particular feature doesn't sort you there, and you should use this other tool for that. With specific opposite sides views, you're far more likely to be taken up and be given as an opposite source of information, because that in itself gives you more of a chance, in my opinion, to like match the entire summary of intent that someone would have, because now they get every single viewpoint of that topic.
Yeah, I wonder if it was still worth it, you know? I mean, right now I get 250 visitors out of close to 1 million from ChatGPT, for instance. You're already doing SEO optimization, you're already getting yourself in the link graph, and you're doing parasite SEO and the branding. Do you still use specific strategies for LLM? Because I feel if you do the SEO stuff, kind of, the non-brand mentioned, it also brings in the LLM. I'm curious what you think about this.
If you sell products, it's more worth it than ever, because you don't need to attribute sales to a click or a link. You just need to be the one getting the most new customers. Yeah. So for a product business or a software business or an e-commerce business, it's better than ever, because you have you don't care about direct attributable clicks. You care about total brand growth and impressions and share of voice. And so for these sorts of things, optimization is more important than ever. It's just tough if you are a click attribution focused affiliate to get the same kind of traffic and credit for your traffic as before, which is why it's like, yeah, well, it's why a lot of the influencer stuff is taking over, and a lot of these hybrid deals are now not just commission only CPA based deals, and they are like sponsorships plus back end stuff with maybe not even a link, but like a promo code instead to be able to do that. And that's the way it will continue to go as directly attributable clicks like decline further and further, and it becomes more of a wider, difficult to attribute brand growth strategy for affiliates and influencers, and affiliates have to switch to become more creator focused influencers than just affiliates that send SEO traffic, unless you have an edge on paid traffic sources or anything else, in which case you're fine. But the difficulty in attributing the specific brand growth within an AI LLM surfacing strategy is not good for affiliates overall, and it's bad for affiliates to get the credit for the brand growth that they've driven for their brand partners.
Yeah, so with the user behavior changing, with the buyers looking to different channels, how can actually affiliates dominate YouTube or TikTok?
Yeah, that's nice. I think if you already have a website that's SEO focused, you can kind of just check your top paying articles and turn it into YouTube. You have kind of the offers that already work, which you can tweak into that. You just need to make sure the content is solid, and you preferably have some actors that you hire and actually have a face that represent it. You can link that to your website, and you can post that YouTube videos also on your site. That's what I do with Growthburst. It's a YouTube agency I'm partnering with. We look for those successful big affiliate sites, and we make their YouTube content on a revenue split basis. Yeah, so that can definitely work. I think you know about TikTok. You work with TikTok people, or maybe Instagram influencers.
Yeah, YouTube still drives way more revenue because there's still more clicks. There's still way more attribution than a TikTok, where there's literally no attribution, and you'll rely on only sponsorships plus promo code backend affiliate, if they even do that. But it's just so good for top of funnel, like awareness, brand growth on the TikTok side, that you just got to accept that you're not really going to know how much direct sales it led to. Yeah, for the video front, the YouTubers, I mean, if you're sponsoring a YouTuber, so I'll go from the other side rather than being the affiliate themselves. You used to get affiliate only deals all the time, but now if you have any YouTube leverage as a YouTuber, you'll never take no money down affiliate only unless the offer is absolutely insane. So for most brands, you just got to pay, which is fine, but it just means that it's a campaign in itself. So if you're a YouTuber trying to get paid, get your initial sponsorship price up and do that by just becoming more powerful in your niche. Then make sure that you can send traffic as well as possible still. And we do this for affiliates that we manage just to help them, but build a robust content system so that if you're a YouTube first video influencer, you can automatically turn that content into SEO focused content as well to try and get extra traffic from there. And even doing other things that other people aren't willing to do, like turning all of those videos or even the blogs into LinkedIn carousels and other ways, turn them into email newsletters so that you can build an influencer, like build your influence across that allows you to then charge more on different sponsorships. Then rather than being just a CPA affiliate, which is okay in certain niches where the offers are so crazy that you only need those. But for most industries, creators, influencers, and affiliates who are in those niches, I would advise them to get their sponsorship money up as well, just so that you aren't reliant on increasingly low traffic driving affiliate only offers that put all of the burden of risk on you and don't reflect how good the wider brand growth from those impressions are when people aren't clicking anyway. So you're not really being paid properly for all of what you're driving unless you're taking money up front if you've got influence as well.
Yeah. And what's definitely important too is approach it as evergreen. Again, same with SEO. That really helps. Make sure that you give them a reason to click your link in the description.
Yeah.
You know, you have get a discount code, for instance. You don't have to take timely offers because again, it's evergreen, or just straight up say if it's an offer that always has a discount, say, oh, click the link, and then you get the discount applied immediately, just to tease them into clicking a link, because it's way easier on YouTube when you look for some product review and then you're already on the site and you don't even click the link, so you get all that traffic, you made all that expensive content, and it doesn't get attributed to you.
There's some really interesting stuff with the CTAs in videos that can work really well as well that some people are doing. Like at the 6-minute mark, for example, is having a really specific CTA that goes, guess what? Click the link here, message support and say I sent you, and there's a secret reward that I've placed for you that comes from like the support channel on Intercom or something like that. And those, the mystery and like you'll get some kind of discount or some kind of thing is really compelling, can lead to like lots of attributable traffic from there. That then as soon as the click lands and the script fires on the back end from the cookie, you're sorted forever as long as that's within the time period. But like any way you can get people compelled to click the link that is your attributable link, there's a variety of ways to do that. Whether it can be as basic as just incentives and discounts, but also like there's a mystery angle that you can play as well, where it's like message support, say I sent you, and they're going to give you something secret here.
Yeah, and you can change the titles, which is nice too. So every year, let's say Iman Ghazi has this YouTube video about how to make 10K a month, and then in 2023, and then the next year he just changes it to 2024, but he just doesn't mention it in the video at first that it's 2017, which he started doing this, and just every year he says that he changed the date, even though you see 6 years ago, it's still his most successful video ever, and changing that little year,
and it's the same info.
It's the same info.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 7 years old, but that's the best ways in 2025 to make money.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So is actually selling traffic the best way to make money for affiliates, or are there other ways of monetization?
Oh, definitely other ways. Definitely other ways. If you have websites, always smack on a guest post offer. You can offer that to your partners, because your partners, of course, also want to promote some extra things, branded related things on your site for either a link or branded opportunities. Just be in touch to the affiliate manager of that company you have. Like, hey, what other objectives do you have? Is it branding? Is it email subscribers? Is it whatever, you know? And then you can work something with that. What I also do is I put my sites on link building marketplaces to also get like guest posts from link building agencies, which is very easy to do, and it just gives an extra 10K a month for us, basically, which is very low effort. A VA handles that, and that's always easy. Oh, you have anything to add?
I was a pure affiliate. Now I build products. I recommend that everyone else eventually goes and does the same thing, because you'll never be paid unless the offers are crazy and you have so much leverage and such a niche edge on traffic that you can do this and you hold all the cards. Especially if you're a creator, that beyond traffic, you have actual emotional attachment, wide parasocial relationships built with large swaths of people in your industry. I would always try to go from being an affiliate into a product company and having some kind of service or software or offering or course or information that you can charge far more than the affiliate commission would have been to send them to the same offer. Like at some point you have to go from being like traffic sender to offer owner, at least for me anyway. Like I think that you can make millions of dollars in affiliate marketing as an affiliate, but the percentage of people who do that as affiliate marketers versus offer owners, I'd say it's less, depending on the industry. There are some crazy casino nutrient things that you are, if you do have the traffic edge, you can do. But if you're a creator, I think you have to just end up building your own brand at a certain level and taking charge of that. It also means that, like, let's say you used to be an SEO and you used to send leads to a link building agency or marketplace. And because that was your highest form of revenue, you could only command $500 a video because that's just your cap. If you build an offer and now you launch one of these options, yes, the value of your traffic is now 10 times higher because you own the back end offer. But also, if someone wants to sponsor the same video, they know you have a higher opportunity cost of your time and lost earnings from your actual offer. So the sponsorship fee might be 10 grand instead of $500 now, because they have to pay that to get you to do that when you have an offer still. And so you become more, you can command more leverage if people still want to pay you for sponsorships after that as well.
Yeah, do make sure to get some math into it, if it's interesting or not. You know, for instance, for us, we have 3,000 pages. So people always said like, oh, you should launch your own e-commerce product. And I'm like, wait, but listen, I have this nice revenue, but it's spread over 3,000 pages. And on those 3,000 pages, I on average 7 products. So if I'm going to launch a specific product, the revenue is not that interesting to me because the product level revenue is low, but we have so many volume that we do, for instance. And also look at the market size. Unfortunately, in the Netherlands, the info products was already done a while ago, very hard. So you have to be in either the biggest market or the biggest niche, which is pretty saturated, or it doesn't really work, at least for us Dutch people with only 50 million, 20 million people, you know. If you're in the English market, nice, the upside is like 20 times as big, at least.
Yeah. So how can you negotiate higher commissions as an affiliate?
Yeah, I love doing that. That is definitely one of our success. Like, and so many SEOs don't do it.
Really?
You know, because we talked
You have
about
to be
it at the
social and
start.
actually talk to people.
Yeah, because they have more these faceless websites, which also represent how they do business. They don't reach out to people and get in touch with them.
Yeah.
It's so easy. Just send some emails like, hey, cool, this is me, this is my website. I like your product. That's why you're on my site. You know, what more can we do? What works for you and what can I do? Just saying the ambitions you have with your website, you know, oh, I want to be the biggest finance brand in the Netherlands. Then they're like, okay, cool. That means you stay here for the long term. So if we can help you with that, with higher commissions, for instance, with other deals, then sure. So say your ambitions, just negotiate and ask first. And if they don't say it, you can either ask for, okay, cool, but when do I get higher commissions? Can we set a target for me to then go to a higher tier? Or, of course, you don't try it with one company, you try it with other people on the same page too. And when they give you, for instance, 15%, you go back to the other person and say, hey, listen, you're on spot number 2 now because you're paying 10%, you're paying 50%, you know my goals. But if you match it, you can get back there. So it's constantly a game of tweaking that. And it's good too, because you also can see how much money they're making. And you see, for instance, if you're doing PPC, it's also an argument like, cool, if you give me more commissions, I can get more clicks and you get more money too. So then you can kind of calculate it with it too. So it's all about, in the end, it's a win-win.
Yes.
And if you say like, hey, if you can give me more, I can give you more too. You know, or like, hey, sorry, your competitor is going up there, but if you want to be in front of your competitor again, I put you right on top for 15%.
The competitor pitting against each other is the most emotionally compelling thing you can ever do.
Yes.
I'll give you an example. Like we used to promote 2 fairly similar marketplaces that sold a lot of the same products, very undifferentiated offers. They were both 5% commissions. And one time for 1 month for some sort of special holiday or something. They said, all right, we're upping it to 10%. These are high ticket, like machinery products, like $5,000 each plus. And the first thing I did was then send an email to the other offer that was 5% saying, hi, just letting you know, really appreciate your partnership. But just so you know, your competitor has offered us 10%. Don't tell them it's time limited. Just say this is the new offer price, as in a commission price that we're getting. We'd love to promote you and we really, really appreciate your time. But if you can't match this, I'm sure you can understand that we will have to put your competitors in the leading spots and give the most traffic to them. They then go, no problem at all. We'll give you 12.5% and match that, or sorry, overcome what they had at 10%. Then you go back to one other marketplace that thought that they were doing you a favor by upping you from 5 to 10% for a month. That's now faced with the realization they now have to do a forever increase to 12.5%.
So evil, Jay.
And then you put them against each other. For example, let's say you promote Nike shoes and Adidas, and the Nike promo is 4% and the Adidas one is 7%. This requires leverage. You need traffic and you need to see results, right? And for them to even have this conversation, or you just won't get a response. As soon as you can go, your competitors are doing this, almost make them like feel a bit inferior. That always will make people take action. Also, depending on the size of the company, understand the operations flow of the affiliate channel. If it's a very small brand, it may be that the founder or the CMO or a SaaS or like a small team, someone who's wearing multiple hats, isn't an affiliate specialist, has the direct ties. It can be more difficult or easier depending on like how the operation is structured. If it's an affiliate manager that's paid a salary, has strict KPIs and needs to hit them, they don't care about profit, and they will almost advocate for you over the business to get you sorted, because that lets them hit their KPIs. And so you can almost kind of like do the regulatory capture thing that people do in government, but via an affiliate manager, build the relationship, get on the calls, do all this stuff, make sure they are advocating for you. And then when the time comes, when you have the leverage, make sure that they are giving you everything that they can, because people forget that like the affiliate manager is often not the brand owner, and they can advocate for you in ways that aren't just for the offer itself and the brand itself. And if you've built a good enough relationship, you can have a lot more leverage in brands that have big enough teams that an affiliate manager with revenue, not profit driven KPIs, will advocate for you instead, because it helps them out to give you these higher rates.
Yeah. And I do have to add, even though someone gives you a higher commission percentage, doesn't mean you have to put them on top. You really have to calculate also the conversion rates and what the average order value is to see like, oh, what does an average click on that offer bring me compared to the other offer? So the one that has the highest average earnings per click, you put that one on top.
Yes,
You know,
you just calculate it, do the math.
Yeah,
It's the only metric that matters. Like for anyone who's just getting into affiliate, you don't just look at the nominal commission rates. You see how much you can make per click that you can send. Another thing for paid traffic, you'll know this much more than me because you're further into the paid traffic game. But especially if there's a time cost of switching, or you're budgeting initial 5 or 10 grand to test sending traffic to an offer. Not really as much on Google, but like for meta traffic or like Taboola or Outbrain or anything else. For a new offer that they're claiming is a really good profitable offer that you haven't sent traffic to prove that you are getting conversions from, you can ask for minimum CPC rewards based on like whatever happens, we'll pay you out at a minimum CPC, even if you don't convert, as a way to reduce risk for big affiliates that you want to onboard into the program. But that's mostly for like paid traffic rather than anything else, where it's just a scaling game and a traffic acquisition game to like, so protect you against like dropping 5-10k and spending a week tweaking the offer and the copy and the ads to be able to do that, so that even if the offer doesn't scale and you can't go ram 100k a month in traffic to it, you still aren't out of pocket by the initial traffic that you spent money sending initially.
Yeah, and they often do that. I have a guy who compares brokers, and they have a €500 CPA, but it takes a lot of clicks before you finally get that conversion. So we got a cost per click that we get instead. And they just readjust it at the end of a few months. Then they calculate the new CPA and the new cost per click they give you. And it's definitely better. Also,
but it's also risky for them because affiliates can send terrible traffic in there. So you have to really have a good relationship and know the affiliate, and they have to have a good track record. And you have to be really watching for the like fraudulent clicks that are being sent that aren't high quality traffic. So
that's why I want to speak with them. Be a likable person, get on their sides, talk about your ambitions, be long term in the game.
Yeah, it's the burden of skill and technical skill on the affiliate manager end is higher to be able to pull those deals off, but it can I mean, for the rewards, if you have an offer that works to get people on side that can send you millions and millions of dollars of revenue, it's well worth it if you have a team with that level of technical skill to be able to reduce or minimize the amount of fraudulent activity that happens with these guarantees. But it's really like it's not normal for like anyone who isn't like very
Established.
important.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think about affiliates ranking on branded terms? Are there alternatives to that, better alternatives?
I think it's great for the affiliates because that's
Yes.
the term you want to be on because
Yes.
there's super high buyer intent. You just need to make sure you respect what your partner says about it because they often have terms saying they either
Yes.
really don't want it or not. Often, even though, let's say, the terms on the initial affiliate program network you see are like, don't do branded term, you can still send them a message and like, hey, what if I do it in this way? Do you still allow it? Or after working together, would you allow me to make a review on your brand name, because we have a good relationship? Then sometimes there is some leeway. And there's also difference between channels. So maybe it might not be allowed on SEO, but it might be in Google Ads because also their competitors are bidding on their Google Ads. So if you're in there, at least there's a bigger share going to them.
That traffic will go to them anyway, right?
Yeah. Or if you are on Twitter or Facebook, then it's a different ballgame too. We have maybe a direct review of your site,
Yeah.
but it's not per se the branded term in SEO. So that could also work. Yeah.
So
The
that
best
is
thing is get in touch.
yeah,
and
that is
ask.
something you should discuss.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Not just do because then it can ruin the relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some people, and they're at the conference, will join an affiliate program, talk a great game of we can't wait to scale this brand for you, and then all they'll do is create coupon code related like content and bid on your brand name. And if you want to destroy a relationship and prevent being offered really good offers in the future, then do exactly that. But this is like for how like bad and like the reputation of affiliate marketing is. I prefer that it's just partnership marketing now. We're going enterprise, we're going above board,
I
partnership
do the
marketing.
same. Yeah. Only win-win.
And so, even for how bad the reputation of the industry is, unfortunately, the people that will still be around in 5 years understand this and won't ruin their reputation over doing stuff that isn't allowed if it's not in the terms and conditions, because it usually catches up with you. And having been on both sides of the table now as an affiliate and an affiliate manager, that becomes so much more important to just do things the right way, even in like, I know it's ironic to say in affiliate marketing, but just don't do things that are going to get you an extra X $1,000s a month, but then lose you hundreds of thousands of dollars in lifetime value because you're now no longer part of that offer.
Which is pretty funny because you just had all the iGaming people on your show and they do all the black hat stuff, and now you got the best boys on the street, all white hat. He's even dressed in white. I'm dressed in white. No, we're good boys. We're like, why would you do that? That's mean.
You can do grey hat things, but respecting
their terms.
And there's no like people want, especially if it's like if you're growing a brand and you've got a first click attribution affiliate program, you're just going after top of funnel like initial brand building stuff. It's less of a problem to go. People want you to create initial reviews and like create the initial content and things like that, and that's great. The only reason it's a problem is if you are taking traffic that was going to convert anyway, rather than adding value in the buying journey. If they were looking for the website, you have an ad running to the homepage or to the the checkout or whatever, and then just taking credit for traffic that you didn't send or did not create any kind of buyer intent from. And so, yeah, the reviews themselves, like there's a difference between like writing content on a brand, like reviews, alternatives versus keywords, and just running an ad on their brand name. The one is great, especially for top of funnel initial brand building awareness. One is parasitic, and that's when you'll get in trouble. And it's very rare, except for niche like regulation reasons, that people will let you just run on their actual brand name. For example, I know someone that made several millions of dollars because there was a certain men's health products that for regulation reasons, they could not say things about themselves that were like in a way that the regulatory, I think that the FTC would have come after them for. But they were allowed, and they were the only allowed people to bid on their brand because they would send you to an editorial that described how it worked for you in ways that the brand themselves couldn't mention.
This
And then-
Alex, right?
I couldn't possibly comment on this.
Yeah.
But, and so they were not only allowed to bid on the brand name, they were encouraged to and given exclusive rights to do that. because the brand themselves couldn't say some of the things that then they were able to say for them as a third-party reviewer.
Yeah, these are the cases also in iGaming sometimes, and with the saturated serves, like as long as you send this traffic to the brand, sometimes it's like it's okay, right? The problem
Nice.
starts when you
Yeah.
send it to someone else.
Yeah. Then they start being mad. Yeah.
Yes. So, what about link building as an affiliate? Like, what are the examples of successful campaigns? How should you approach link building?
Yeah, as real as possible. That basically, yeah, it's still, that's also why I don't buy sites from SEOs anymore, because they don't try to make it real, but PR campaigns, business directories, non-mentions, yeah, just the basic stuff for me,
Yeah.
basically. In the Netherlands, it's a bit lower level than compared to the English-speaking markets. It's just, the algorithm is just easier.
Yeah, for link building, it can't, in my opinion, you can't just have your standard like two-dimensional link on site anchor text and think that that's your job done. SEO, a lot of people who are spending $5 grand a month on SEO would get better results if they took that $5 grand and spent it on a mix of initial top of funnel brand building meta ads and, you know, influencer campaigns and Reddit marketing, because SEO is only one, like the actual technical SEO, whether that's link building, content creation, technical, anything like that, is its own thing. And now you need to do all of the things to get your maximum results out of the SEO campaign itself, because it's so brand focused now with branded traffic, brand mentions, and everything else. And so if you're not doing a multi-channel strategy to get brand mentions that aren't your typical links, but they are, you know, lots of mentions in Reddit that themselves rank for, that have traffic, have initial brand awareness, that increase branded traffic itself, and are scraped by LLMs as they create their sources of data that they're taking and then outputting again. The best thing you can do with your link building budget is spend it on things that like aren't always just link building, but that get you mentions on every other site that's a part of trained data as well. Link building itself is like absolutely necessary, but a brand mention can be as good as any link. You just can't attribute it in the same way, and you can't sell it as easily as an agency because it's not as easy to just, oh, look what we did. But yeah, the best thing you can do is do anything that makes you more of a real brand. Digital PR campaigns are great for doing that. Tools that are custom, that go beyond standard text only information, still work really well. And just better like content as well that you can then buy links to get to the level where it will naturally attract links. Tools that help you calculate things. And then creating a product as well is really easy, because some of the best links with lots of traffic will be things like, for example, we manage some SaaS affiliate programs. And for the SaaSes themselves, some of the easiest way to get links is just to outreach every listicle that says the top 10 SaaS affiliate programs and get mentioned. Not only is that a great source of affiliates, which achieves one of your brand goals, but it's also a great link because that's a high traffic relevant thing in your niche that puts you associated with some of these other huge billion-dollar companies that are on this list. And so when you have a product, you open up so many more avenues for like easy link building that you don't have if you're an information only site. And one of the easiest ways to expand the possible like areas of link building strategies is to just have a wider, more powerful product selection, and just like doing other things like that. The best links are ones that help you achieve more than one business goal, not just ranking high, but that also directly lead to revenue, traffic, brand growth, everything else. And that's a luxury. And it takes a lot of initial link building to get to that point where you have a brand, where you have, you're spoiled for choice and all the links you can buy. But yeah, I like to buy links, or when I'm buying them, I like to have another business goal that they achieve. For example, let's say it's $500 to get on a 500 traffic a month listicle of affiliate programs. That helps me get 20 more organic affiliates per 3-month period, for example, and that helps me achieve another business goal as well as that. And so, yeah, I think people think too reductively about how link building is, when it is just part of a broader organic, holistic brand growth strategy that you need. But if you think buying, you know, a 500 traffic, not very niche relevant website link insert is going to move the needle compared to like a really powerful brand focused digital PR campaign, or a really niche relevant link on a HubSpot rather than 10 shit links. I think that's very 2018, and it's not 2025 multi-channel organic marketing, which is where SEO is going. Even, you can get more results organically on Google now, by building your brand with just top of funnel Facebook ads than most typical SEO tactics now. But people hate doing other things apart from SEO, and that's why they're not taking advantage of this.
And all those quantity link building tactics that you talked about, they're hurtful too, because they can hurt your site at any algorithm update possible. Every time there's an algorithm update, you squeeze your ass again because you're like, shit, I know I've been a bad boy. So they're coming for me because I do all this SEO link building tactics that don't give me other uses outside of SEO.
How much of the budget is is based
That is
on
true.
how easy you sleep the next month?
That is true. So actually, would you say that new link building is brand building?
Yeah.
Everything is brand,
Yeah.
and just SEO is amplified by like how real and multi-channel you are. Like I said, a lot of people who are just purely spending on SEO should go and spend that on meta ads, from building an email list and sending traffic from there, from like doing PR campaigns that themselves are good link building tactics. For Reddit focused marketing campaigns, they don't even have to be links; they can just be raw mentions on Reddit, and that can outweigh the actual total SEO benefits, even though you can't directly attribute one link equals 3 places higher in the same way. It's much more like, esoteric than like easy to attribute. So it's more difficult to justify in your marketing team, but that is how you get great results over the next few years, rather than just being an SEO only niche siloed down thing that just will not age well in where we're going with tech and AI.
So have you actually ever used an H domain as an affiliate?
Yeah. I bought the one that I bought because it used to be a real business. And if you have a real business, you typically have good branded traffic. And it meant that as soon as we restored it from what it was before it expired, we already had 70-ish clicks per day, which is a great initial traffic signal, as long as you are, still doing what you used to do to make sure that traffic is good. It means that you can get ranking for moderately competitive terms very quickly, especially if the domain was previously the type of business that Google currently favors. If you buy an X e-commerce store or an X software product, you can do really, really crazy things with H domains still. I bought, how much can I reveal here without?
Come on.
I bought an H domain in an industry that was a really niche e-commerce store, and it didn't have that many links, but I paid a lot of money for it because it had loads of forum mentions on these really niche, obsessed hobbyist forums. And then it was just really easy to rank. Another one that I almost bought, I didn't in the end, that I really wanted on Odys, actually used to be a game, but I was buying it for a different niche, but it just had a great name. And I Googled it, and it had a knowledge panel because it was on Steam back in the day and all of this stuff. And it's like, you think with your blog only niche site, you're going to have a better time outranking what was a real product with a knowledge panel for the average thing once you've restored that and then targeted like more, affiliate focused content. It's just different. Like, it's 2-dimensional versus 3-dimensional planes. And there's just no way you can compete with that. You can buy initial branded traffic that nowadays might cost you $100,000 to generate that same level of real interest by buying some of these domains that used to have like real stuff. And as long as you don't depart from the initial thing too much, keep it in the same niche, you can go e-commerce into affiliate, but you still got to kind of like give e-commerce signals with some of the things that you do, or just combine an affiliate content strategy with kind of like a drop shipping style e-commerce campaign as well. You don't have to actually sell anything, you just have to look like you do. That can work really, really well.
So you keep the domain relevant.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's very, like, people think that you can, maybe you can. I'm not risk focused enough to change it. If I buy a hotel age domain, I'm keeping it in hotels. If I buy a product focused one that used to be about washing machines, I'm going to drop ship washing. I don't want to go and start doing it. Even if it's in the same sort of area, it can work. But I personally don't want the risk tolerance. I want guaranteed results for my investment. So I recommend keeping it really tight and conservative, but I am conservative with these investments now. You can go out a little bit. If it was a recipe site, you can go into most areas of food. And in some niches, like it really doesn't matter too much. Like casino, like every single expired
Yeah,
domain is redirected
exactly,
into an
for
Asian
casino.
casino site, like whatever, anything goes. But like
Yeah.
I'm talking like, I guess,
Yeah.
most other niches,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
you have
For
to think
some
more
verticals,
topically.
yeah, you can go with anything. But as you say, for other niches, keep it relevant, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We use it for EAT.
Mhm.
We bought an expired domain of an authority. For instance, I can't reveal it myself, but for instance, if you have, let's say, a general practitioner who had their own website, well, if you have a health website, you make an author profile
Yeah.
of that person, you buy this person's site, you redirect it
Yeah.
to the author profile. You can even have a mention in his profile about this old website and that he writes now for you miraculously. Well, in reality, you had your 22-year-old content writer from the Philippines, for
Claude.
instance, you know,
Claude, yeah.
called Claude. Yeah.
Claude. Yeah. Awesome. So actually, are there any verticals that are not yet saturated with affiliates?
Yes, every single one.
Every single one.
Yeah. People have, like, in my opinion, the competition is still low. People are just doing
Really?
the same thing. You just have to be creative.
Okay.
And I say this as a hypocrite because I don't spend my time actively doing much actual affiliate marketing anymore. But but I've seen so many millions more data points now, having like been on the back end and been CMO and affiliate analytics company called Lasso, and now running affiliate programs for publicly listed brands and things like that now, that really the clever people know how to do things, and they're not operating on the same levels as everyone else. They have edges, either from being able to send traffic, because they have different paid traffic sources. They have built really powerful brands that you just, like, you could write the best blog post or create the best YouTube video. You're never going to get as much YouTube videos as someone phoning it in with a real charismatic, focused audience that have been around for 5 years of history. It's not difficult. You just have to not do low effort, same stuff and expect extraordinary results from that. It's more difficult now. You can't, like, everyone got rich from 2013 to 2022. Everyone. And then when 2023 happened, everyone realized, actually, maybe I was quite overpaid for how little like talent and work I actually did to differentiate myself. And I still feel that way. I still feel that way. If people focus on one thing and doing incredible things and being creative and finding new ways of driving traffic and building the brand and operating in areas that not everyone's operating in to be able to drive that traffic and build the extra brand growth for cheaper. You know, for example, there's always an algorithm that's like swimming with the tide, and there's always a lot of them that are mature that are swimming against. Last year, you still had the remnants of TikTok. You still got really good reach on Instagram Reels because the incentives are aligned. They want you to go and grow and use these features, so they give more reach for them. LinkedIn is actually still really good, even though the reach has come down. But then you don't go and spend all your time on platforms and the opposite is happening, like Twitter, which is constraining reach if you talk about anything other than politics right now. So you don't go and focus your thing where you're swimming against the tide because it's difficult to get any motion going on. There's always troughs and peaks, and it's just about using your time to find your edge and then using that to build a brand, cross-selling that brand into all of the channels that are worth a lot to you, and then continually offering higher and higher price things that get you more and more, either from products selling that or using that to leverage for really, really high commission offers as an affiliate, and then being able to maximize the value of your traffic there.
Yeah, and now it's brand, but later it will be optimized for LLMs because nobody knows other people anymore and they don't make decisions themselves. It's just a game that's changing, you know, and it will keep the same. I think in 2017 was the Penguin update, and then a lot of people quit too because all they did was build PBNs basically to their shitty site, and then all their sites got hit, and they're basically like, yeah, I don't want to start over again, so they quit. You know, that's part of it. Eventually it's a content game, so keep creating content, keep optimizing the content, and that's it. And it's for you to learn how the rules change, how the people change, and what marketing channels change, and if you should go into it or not. These are the basics. If you keep doing those three things, you can survive. If you don't, then you will give up when there's an algorithm update.
And yeah, with the user behaviors changing, like the voice search becoming more popular, how should affiliates take advantage of that? Is there like, are they going into this or?
I'm kind of allergic to voice because I think also 4 years ago or maybe 5 years ago, the Amazon Alexa came onto the market and everybody was voice search for it. This was all the corporate marketers wanted to optimize for voice search, but it never really did any dent, you
Okay.
know, and I still think the way they optimize for search is the way you optimize for other things.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second thing is it worth optimizing for voice search? Because how do you interact when you use your voice? I do it mostly for informational queries
Mm-hmm.
because I want an answer to a question. I want really undertake action to that voice search. So for me, I'm just ignoring it
Okay.
because there are other things that can make me money. And
Yeah.
I'm certain that will make me money. But yeah, it's an interesting question. And I think it's one of the shiny objects where people were like, oh, wait, voice
Yeah.
search. And then they see like, oh, this can be the next thing, you know? But then it's like, yeah, but really, if you think about it,
So we're going back to what you said at the beginning, right? It's easy to get distracted, try the new things instead of stick to what is what you practice and what's really working and bringing you money, and
yeah.
continue the same grind, right?
Yeah, and I made the same mistake once too when it was like messenger marketing became a thing, and everybody's like, "Oh, you have 80% open rates, and you don't have that with email." So I want to build all these chatbots in Facebook Messenger, you know, because you kind of want it to work.
Yeah.
Because that will be great. Because that might be the not saturated thing. That might be the easy thing. You
Exactly.
want to believe it, but then yeah, that's reality. That's not reality. So
Yes.
yeah.
Because yeah, it's like psychological, right? When you hear something new, you want to be the first person to enter. You don't want to miss out on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's the bet you're making. Will this actually work or not, right?
Yeah, did you really think critically about voice search and the fundamentals it rests upon and that it can be useful or not? And it's really different than the current game. Then
Mm-hmm.
not.
Any other similar examples to voice search? Like something that is like gimmicky, people go into it and but won't really take off in your opinion?
I've never heard of any significant traffic ever been driven from any voice search focused campaign, I'll be
Yeah.
honest. But
Okay.
I find for myself, I've never been searched Google with my voice, but just in the last few months, I've been using, I think it's called Whisper Flow, where you press the function button on your MacBook and just say stuff, and it will go into whichever text box you have open, whether that's on Slack, writing a tweet or a LinkedIn post, or a search on ChatGPT as well. And it is actually about 2 to 3 times faster to create what I want to say than typing it.
Yeah.
And so that's the first time that I ever felt like using my voice rather than typing had become intuitive enough that it is actually improving my productivity. Even to an extent where if I'm talking to Claude, it's outputted a document, I wanted to make some edits, and rather than like writing specifics, I can go, no, that bit's different here, change this bit there, and then do that. Rather than having to type out and thinking, becomes a more interactive flow. And that
Yeah.
I think actually, even though I came in and started and said, I've never heard significant traffic being driven by a voice search focused campaign. I do think that the way that the early adopters are interacting with the new AI tech is going to change the way that you optimize, because when you say stuff, you don't say stuff the way you type a keyword, where you are looking for a match based on the semantics or anything else. And so I think it's interesting, but I think that if anyone is vaguely similar to me, you're not searching Google with voice, you're searching chatbots and ChatGPTs and Claudes for things that would be the source of focusing for any kind of voice campaign.
So what's in the future of affiliate marketing?
I think we talked a lot about it. Either brand,
Yeah.
Creator focused, hybrid models for sponsorships and then affiliate backend. Non-click attributable things are absolutely necessary, mostly promo code based or any other way of proving that you sent the traffic in an increasingly muddied, noisy, difficult to attribute world, and increase in emotional leverage. It sounds bad like a cult, but like favoring your audience. Stopping, like if you're an SEO, you're an SEO probably because you're introverted and you don't want to go do the other things. You have to get over that. Learn paid, learn newsletter acquisition methods. Fortify your brand and your traffic so that you can't be upset by an increasingly histrionic Google that can go crazy overnight and is unpredictable. It's also how you get the best asset value multiplier when you go to sell your business, because you aren't relying on just one traffic channel for 99% of your traffic. And may go from being a successful entrepreneur to applying for jobs in 2 weeks if it all goes wrong. And so protect yourself on a risk averse route, not just that, not just for the actual revenue gain and the brand building elements of that, but just make sure that you have a real brand, be creator focused. AI can do almost anything as good as most humans text wise, given the right context, prompts, and system. A Claude project with 40,000 words of context that we have can create better articles than most of the writers we used to hire. But video, you see tools like arcads.ai for like UGC AI creators, and it is cool for e-commerce, but it isn't humans, and you like humans. And if you become the human, not just the faceless website owner, you can exert 1,000 times more influence and send them to offers that fit what they want, that you get an affiliate commission on than ever before. The richest affiliates are people like Martin Lewis in the UK, who people think of as the finance guy. 100 million from affiliate in the finance game. But you wouldn't think if he was an affiliate marketer. He's a brand owner who advocates for people's personal finance. And that is like the ultimate affiliate, is when you are just so powerful that people don't even know you're an affiliate. You're just a big brand owner and a public figure almost. And that's the level of influence he exerts. And that commands incredible amounts of money.
Yeah, definitely a fan of YouTube, by the way. But also the future for affiliate marketing is bright, very bright. We will keep buying from people. We'll keep buying from people who recommend stuff that we trust based on the brand or other factors. We won't just interact with ChatGPT, because in the end, we also know that is influential, that is to be messed with. And brands just want to spend more and more money on affiliate marketing too. First was just commission deals, what we talked about. Now they pay a lot of money up front already just to be mentioned. We help the brands become a brand too, by mentioning them, by promoting them, by using our audiences. So there's definitely still a lot more money to be made. The budgets will increase. Also, if you look at the other ad channels for a brand, it's a great decision. The ROI is still high, and they don't spend a lot of money on ad systems they can't really track anymore, like Meta and Google, with the privacy thing. It might be a bit harder, but else we wouldn't be sitting here smiling, flying to Ho Chi Minh to have some fun based on the success of our affiliate companies.
I want to ask about the increasingly problematic attributions. Yeah.
For SEO, it's fine because you typically click the link on the page, and that's why SEO is so good for affiliate. But with SEO traffic itself becoming more and more fickle and more difficult to drive if you're an information-focused brand rather than a product-focused brand, you need to be able to move on to channels that complement SEO that might not be as attribution friendly. And so the easiest way, the most common way to do that is a promo code. If you're on TikTok, you get 1 million views, no one's clicking a link. But if you say, and if you write Jamie at the checkout, I'll sort you out with a 10% discount or whatever that may be, then that's typically how it's done.
Add value. Which is great for your brand too. If you can say, hey, I don't just have a link to click on, but you use the promo code of your brand, for instance, so the user knows, oh, this guy negotiated something for me. Amazing.
It's absolutely crucial. If you want to be a forward-thinking affiliate program structure for a brand, you need to be doing more than just click attribution.
Exactly.
Even just for not even just not every brand, some really B2B brands don't suit TikTok. Or if you're a casino, you're probably not looking for a casino on TikTok. You're probably not. It's more of a lifestyle, e-com focused thing. But even for B2B proper software enterprise brands that might want to grow on channels that aren't just click attribution based, even just having your promo code in a really high value LinkedIn carousel can be so effective. And so what we do now is we turn affiliates' content into carousels and blog posts that were YouTube things for them with just that one thing with a promo code. And for high enough ticket enterprise B2B stuff like that, that can still work really well. But you need to get away from just click attribution reliant tech to be able to explore all of these other more creator focused social media based options as well.
Yeah, and be sure as an affiliate to recognize that sometimes some things get misattributed or not
Yes.
attributed at all.
Yeah,
And it'd be
exactly.
like, okay, maybe switch to a different model, you know, just CPC for the amount of clicks and
Yeah.
use multiple
Yeah.
data sources. Use
really
affiliate
good,
tracking tools that you really get first-party data instead of third-party data. Double check everything with the cookie consent banners and don't just install something ready-made for you and then hope everything works, because that is very, very important, especially in the PPC game where you spend euros, so you need every euro to be tracked, so
Yeah.
to say.
You can also do, we're about to launch this soon in our own software for this, but rather than just conversion focused things, you can create specific campaigns for an influencer. And then if it's a social focused thing, if it's on TikTok or Twitter or anywhere where you can see the views, you can do impression based things as well, where for every 1,000 views you post, irrespective of the conversions, because we don't need direct attribution, we're happy with just estimating the value of what that brand growth and over time sales will be from that post. And then just do impression based things. If you get 1,000 views on LinkedIn, we'll give you $100. Or if you do 1,000,000 views on LinkedIn, we'll give you $1,000 for that specific thing. Then you agree on the general topic, so it's not like so away from anything that could convert that it is still ROI there. But more impression based stuff can be really good as well to scale that as well. People like what are crushing with this now, even for things that you wouldn't expect. Like I believe Drake and Party Next Door just dropped an album, and one of the offers are there now. If you include the music in the background for anything, you'll get a very small impression based thing, but you can make a video on anything, get 100 million views and still make $1.5 grand just for the right background noise. Stake pay 300, is it $350 per million views or something if you just include the Stake logo in a Twitter photo. So now football accounts that are like just putting, you know, rage bait football bad takes deliberately to get engagement and millions of views with a picture of Thierry Henry or Ronaldo and Messi with the Stake logo in the background, knowing that if they get 10 million views, they're going to make $1,000 or whatever Stake are offering now. And so there's impression based, I mean, that's, you know, online unregulated casino stuff. And so a lot like the forward thinking, fast growing casinos are doing impression based mainstream appealing stuff to just get massive views, even if, you know, it's not a you should use Stake, it's just a logo in the background, but also base brand building on top of the more conversion focused campaigns. But they have to be impression based because there's no attribution on that
exactly, since it's moving in a direction where it's not as direct, but more of affiliates work more as influencers, right? So you need different methods of monetizing and measuring. Awesome. Thank you so much. These are like really great points you made here. Thank you for coming and sharing. And thank you everyone for watching. If you're interested in more topics on affiliate marketing, definitely follow Jamie and Niels on LinkedIn and subscribe to our Odyssey channel on YouTube. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. We had a blast.